I have a few notes that we want to think about on how to approach this excerpt. First, let's start strong to establish what our volume is going to be. Reason why, because we have a forte, we have piano, we have crescendos, but what is going to be your volume when you start out? So establish that strong forte dynamic. Next will be your roll pulse. What pulse are you going to attack with this roll on beat 2? Are you going to be in triple or duple? All right. I would suggest duple meter, rolling in 16th, meaning your hands are moving in 16th notes, because the next thing that needs to be addressed is the roll into the diddle. So one thing you could think about is a basic check pattern, and I would do this check pattern in 16th notes, 16th note diddles, and then 16th note buzz rolls, so that we can work on having that buzz roll release into a diddle. So then once we play the excerpt, then we can understand what it is to have that release into a diddle. All right. The next thing is left hand rhythmic cues. In measure 19, this is a rudiment that we will need to address, or left hand double rhythmic cues. All right. That is a rudiment that we will need to establish mastery of. All right. In measure 20, it may seem a little tricky. On beat 4 of measure 19, we have 3/slash roll, which signifies a buzz roll. But in measure 20, we have 2/slash, which then lets us know that this needs to be a diddle roll. So we need to make sure we have a distinct difference between those buzz rolls into the diddles. 2, 3. All right. Releasing on those 2 accents. Also, let's make sure we get down. One of the things that we have to do is get down into that piano after those 2 accents. Which is then a graduated crescendo that we play through from measure 21 into 22, all the way into the forte in measure 23. So a gradual crescendo. Let's not get too big, too fast. Make sure it's all smooth, going from piano into forte on that accented left hand. Next is the flam accents in measure 22. Those are flam accents, but it begins with 1 note into left hand flam accents. But again, we have to think about making sure that is a smooth crescendo into measure 23. All right, be careful not to have accented rolls when you into the pulse. What do I mean by that? At this volume, for instance, at measure 1, let's make sure we're not accenting that roll that's not needed. Or when we go into measure 23, neither one of those rolls are accented, but because we're playing at such a forte or such a loud, strong volume, you may want to have the tendency to dig into those rolls. But let's make sure they're smooth throughout and not necessarily heavily accented. That's what I have for you on snare drum.